Hi guys, good afternoon. As I promised you about, I'm going to give a demo regarding Git and Bitbucket. So today I'm going to give you the demo. So before starting the Git and Bitbucket, I'm going to give a small introduction about what is Git and Bitbucket is. Okay. So in real-time project, multiple developers will be available for the development activity. Okay, so the developers may be working on different locations for the same project. They're working from the different locations, but they are working for the same project. Then we are having two challenges here. All the developers' code should be stored at one place. And another thing, we need to monitor and track our files. Who has created the file, who has modified the file, who has deleted the file in the project. So we need a monitored access of our source code. So for these things, we're going to use a software called as version control tools. We're going to use it. So these version control softwares are used to code integration and monitored access of our project. Okay. So repository is a place where we're going to store our source code for the complete project. Sorry. In developer system, we're going to install one client software, that is Git client. So Git is a client software. In the local system, in our laptops, we're going to install this Git software, Git client software, which will going to communicate, we're going to use this Git client software to communicate with the remote repository server like Bitbucket, GitHub, these things. So the admin will going to create a project folder structure in the remote repository, and he will going to give you the URL, and we're going to use that URL to connect to the remote repository. Okay, there are several version control tools softwares are available in the market. Some of them are SVN, GitHub, and Bitbucket. So SVN is already outdated, so GitHub and Bitbucket is now trending in the market. They are using, everyone is using GitHub and Bitbucket. So Bitbucket and GitHub, they are providing the same features. The difference is that the Bitbucket is more advanced, means the look and feel will be very good in Bitbucket. So GitHub, even though it will going to provide the same features, but it looks something traditional look it will going to give. Okay, so then if we go for Bitbucket, just a minute. If we go for Bitbucket, so look, Bitbucket is a Git-based source code repository, hosting and service owned by the Atlassian. So Bitbucket is provided by the Atlassian company. So this Bitbucket is a cloud platform where we are going to store our project source code. So this Bitbucket and GitHub both uses Git as a version control software. So this Bitbucket will going to provide software project hosting and version control management using the Git. Okay, we're going to create this Bitbucket providing us the web application, means this one. This is the web application. So to to create the account for us, I have already have an account in this. So Bitbucket account. These are already ongoing projects. So if you want to create the repository, you can go for it. You can create here a new repository. So these are the 3 repositories I'm having at present. This is the new repository. So this Bitbucket and GitHub, these platforms will going to provide a commercial plans also for our source code management. So we're going to create a repository in the Bitbucket and GitHub, which is a remote repository where we will going to store our source code. We're going to store the source code of the project. So all the developers code will be pushed to this repository. So where all the code will be integrated at one place, at one location, so that everybody can access it. Okay. So all the developers will going to install the Git client software in their local system, which is used to communicate with the Bitbucket or GitHub remote repository. Okay. I will going to give a small demo how to use these Git. So I have created few folders for it. Git practice is one of the folder. So For create the first, you will need to install into your application Git Git client software. You need to download and install. Then afterwards, after installing, if you write, I have created an empty folder. This, okay. So in the empty folder, I have going to inside. Right click on the empty inside the empty folder. You can go for the Git Bash. So after installing Git client software, these two options will be available if you right click on this. Okay, Git GUI based approach is the Git Bash, means command line. So I'm going to use the command line. Okay, so this is the command line we are having. Just a minute, guys. Okay, so this Git, the Git is providing several commands for our performing the Git operations on the Git repository. Okay, we're going to create the repository in the GitHub or Bitbucket. So now at present I'm using Bitbucket. Okay, the important commands we are using in Git help. So you can see here, maximize it. See, if you provide Git help, it will going to provide the, these are the common Git commands used in the various situations. So these are the usually we will going to use these commands: clone, init, add, move, restore, remove, then this commit, branch, merge, switch, push, pull, fetch, checkout. So these are some of the commands we're going to use it. Okay. If you don't know anything about Git, if you simply install the Git client software and if you go for GitHub, it will going to provide the usually what we're going to use the commands. It will going to show these commands here, and it will going to show the details also. If you want to know more about the details, Git init, help, and you can enter that command name. If you enter it, if you click on this, look, the documentation will going to displayed. Okay, so I just given git help, whatever the command you provided, that related documentation it will going to display it, because when you install the Git client software, it will going to install the Git documentation also, so that you can get all the details of all the commands, how to use it, all those things. So first of all, we're going to use Git help. And if you want to know more about the command details, if you can go for Git help and the command name. So here I'm giving git init. So init command, it is used to create an empty Git repository or reinitialize an existing one. Okay, so this git init command is used to create a empty repository or reinitialize the existing one. It is used to initialize this folder as a Git folder. For example, let's say, yeah, this is the folder. I have opened this one. So in this location, I have opened this Git bash. Okay, now you see it, git init command I'm running. If you provide it here, look, a Git folder already created. I just run a command git init. So it is initialized empty Git repository. In this path, this is the path and this is the folder. Look, this is the Git folder. Means if you run git init command, it will going to make this folder as a Git command, Git folder, sorry. Yeah, it will going to make it as a empty Git repository. Okay, now we're going to yeah, now we're going to create one file here. I'm going to show you how to push, pull, everything. I'm going to create one command, demo.java. Okay, I have created a file, demo.java. If you go into the Git bash, if you provide git status, it will going to provide like this. The data will be appearing like this. I have run git status command, so untracked files are present. So demo.java, this is an untracked file, means there will be three types of files will be available if you go for any git repository. Okay, that is staged file, unstaged file, and untracked file. Okay, untracked file, we are getting untracked file here, means it is a newly created file. We need to stage them to commit the changes to the local. These file names will always appear in red color. So because this file we have created just now, it is a new file. If you run the git status command here, so it will be displayed in the red color, means it is an untracked file. Okay, then it is already untracked file. So look, this git bash is very intelligent. It will going to it will give you a suggestion which command you will going to use next. So this is the untracked file. In the next, we're going to add this for staging area. So staging area is nothing but the files which is added to the staging area, that those files will be ready for the commit. Okay, those files will be ready for commit to the local repository. When you install the git repository, one local repository will be created. Whatever the changes we have done in the local system, that will be committed to the local repository. It will not going to commit to the central repository. I'm going to show you how it will going to do in the next few minutes. Okay, there will be two untracked files, means these are the newly created files. It will be displayed in red color. And staged file means the files which is already in the staged area, they will be ready for commit. We can directly commit it. Okay, all the files should be, so every file must be staged before they are committed to the local repository. Otherwise we cannot perform the commit to the local. Okay, so this is, sorry, yeah, here now it is in the untracked file. We need to stage it first to perform the commit. So for that, git add demo.java. We can use this command to add a file to the staging area. Yes, now you can check git status. Look, now it is this file name is displayed in green color. Now this file name is displayed in green color. The changes to be committed. Look, git rm -- cached file name to unstage it. This file demo.java is already staged. Now there are two options where either we can commit it, or we can unstage it. For unstaging, it is already giving the suggestion. Rm command is used to perform the unstaging. Okay, so look, it's already showing, it's already in the staging area. So if we go for git rm -- c cached demo.java, right, it is removed from the staging area. So how to check it? Git status. If you go for it again, it became untracked file because it's a newly created file. We have staged it by using add command, but again we have unstaged it by using remove command. So this is the thing. This is how we will going to stage and unstage a file which is untracked. Okay, there will be another thing. This unstaged file means modified files will be displayed here. We need to stage these files to the commit location. Okay, this will also be displayed in the red color. Just a minute, guys. Okay, now we can add git add demo.java. Git to check it. Git status. Now it is in the staging area. So if you want to commit the changes, we can go for git commit -m initial commit. Sorry. Yeah. So this is the command to commit. After before committing any file, it should be present in the staging area. For putting it to the staging area, we will going to use a git add command. Okay, if we are having multiple files, we're going to use -a. I'm going to show you that. So this is already in the staging area. This demo.java file is present in the staging area. Now I'm going to commit this. -m means it's a message. What is the message? Message means what we are doing. Usually in real time, what we're going to do, for which if you know the Jira software, we're going to provide the story names. Story points, story names will be there. So the story names will be going to write it. What changes we are doing to this story, those things we're going to write. I'm using this for demo purpose. For this, I'm going to use initial commit. So that is the message you are giving. Okay. So look. So created file. You can check it. Git status. So on branch master, nothing to commit. Working tree is clean. So this is already committed. This demo.java is already committed, but this file is not committed to central repository. This file is committed to local repository. Yeah, this file is committed to local repository. Okay, let's say we're going to create a few more files like test.java. Again, we are going to write another file like date utils.java. Okay, so two more files I have created. Now we're going to check the status. So look, two untracked files are present, that is date utils and test.java. So now we're going to, so for to keep these files into the staging area, we're going to use git add command. So git add and file name we're going to write. But here we are having two files. If you are having in real time, if you are having multiple, we have created multiple files. If you need to add all the files to the staging area, if we use git add file name, one by one we need to do it. It will going to take a lot of time. So if you are having multiple files, we can go for git add -a. If you provide that, all the files will be staged all at once. It will be staged. Look, it is the staging files, the files which is already staged, those will be displayed in the green color. Now it is in the green color. So if you want to commit the changes, you can commit. Now look, these files are already staged area. These files are already in the staged area. Now if you want to unstage it, it is already providing the suggestion git restore --staged. These are the two files which is in the staging area. If you want to unstage it, you can use the restore command. This is the meaning of this statement. Okay, if you want to unstage it, you can use this command. Okay, you can try it, no issues. So now I'm committing git commit -m second commit. Right, no, look, two files changed. So we're going to check the status. The working tree is clean. So nothing is there to commit already. Whatever the changes we need to do, we have already changed and done the changes. Now we're going to write one small program. Sorry. Demo. logic comes here. We're going to write the logic here. So this is the thing I have created. One class I have created. Within that I have created one method. So I have saved, exit. So I have changed some, I have done some coding in the demo.java. Look how it will going to display. Git status. Yeah. Changes not staged for commit. We have done the changes to the already presented, already created file. We have done some changes, but it is not staged for committing. So now we need to stage it for commit. So git add demo.java, because we have already before that we have staged that, we have committed already, but we are doing some changes. If we do the changes again, we need to add a stage it to the stage those files before committing. So this is the thing, git status. Okay, changes are already committed, it is ready for commit. It is in the it is in the staged area. If you want to unstage it, you can use the restore. You can use this, like, yeah, this one. You can use this command to restore it, which is in the staging area. So now I'm going to commit it. Git commit m do process method added, right? Git status. So this is how we will going to do the basic commands we're going to use here like this. So far I have shown git help command. If you want to know the details of the command, like look, git help add. Why we need to add, why we will going to use this add? Look, add documentation as directly open. If you provide git help add, git help, whatever the command name, if you provided those related documentation, it will going to display it. Because while installing your application, it will going to install the git documentation also. So we can go and read these things, what is the meaning of these things, how we can use it. You can go through this. Okay, like you can use single a, or you can use double hyphen a, double hyphen all for all files. Okay, you can use both of it, any of it you can use it. Just a minute. Yeah, right. So this is how we're going to create it. Okay, whenever we have done any commit, our changes will be committed to the local repository. Okay, it will not going to commit to the central repository. So to commit to the central repository, we're going to use two more commands. Okay, for that we're going to use git remote command and git push command. We need to use it. So I'm going to show you that one. First, before committing to the remote repository, we need to create a repository first. We're going to create it one. We're going to create one, create repository. Yeah, repository name, project name I'm going to give 01 hyphen app, first application. Okay, first app. Okay. 01 hyphen yeah, create a new project 01 hyphen app. Okay, first app we are creating, right? We're going to go and repository name, we're going to create it. Testing git commands. This is the repository name. Simply for demo purpose, I'm taking this one. So look, before creating usually what I'm going to do, what I'm going to follow, I'm going to remove this readme file. I'm going to provide no and git ignore file. So what are the files you no need to push to the repository? So those files, if we in this git ignore file, if you provide it, those files will not be pushed to the repository. So this file will be automatically generated if you provide yes. I'm going to give no. Okay, create repository. Okay. First time. We'll take first time. Okay. Creating a new repository. Yeah. Our repository has been created. We don't have any files here. So this is the repository URL. You can copy it. This is the repository URL. I'm going to copying it. So now we'll go into the git bash to our folder, put it. So now what we're going to do, yeah, just a minute. Yeah. Now we're going to go for the remote repository. Now git to connect to the remote repository, git remote add, and we need to provide the repository URL. Okay. If you provide it, git remote add option. Okay. Okay, we can provide it this one. Git remote add origin, and the repository will going to provide it. Yeah, it is done, guys. Our repository is created. Means it is asking for which branch we need to provide it. So origin means origin master. It is the main repository. So this is the command git remote add origin, and the repository URL. If you provide and if you click it, this repository will be added to the this repository will going to establish a connection with this your remote repository Bitbucket, right? Look, if you want to say it, go to the git folder which we have created at the time of initialization stage. Go for config, right click on this, open it. Look, guys, I have not entered anything here. I have just connected by using a git bash command here, by using git remote add origin and remote repository I have provided. If you provide and run this one, look, automatically it has been it establishes a connection and it is registered your repository URL. Okay, this is remote repository URL. It is automatically registers in the .git folder. Look, this is how it will going to work. So this this git remote repository we will going to do for the first time. We're going to connect to the remote repository only for the first time. Okay, from the next time onwards, we don't use this thing. Only for the first time, we're going to use this thing. So now, whatever the files it is present in the local repository, now we're going to move the files to the remote repository. After connecting to the remote repository, now only we can use push command. Okay, git push -u origin master. For master branch, I'm going to send this repositories. Just a minute, it is taking time. Yeah, it is done, guys. Now if you go for your remote repository, if you refresh it, so you're going to see the 3 files are present here. Okay, I have pushed the code from local repository. From I have pushed the changes files, whatever it is present in the local repository, to the central repository by using git push command. You can use the git push command only after establishing a connection with the git repository, git remote repository. Okay, now these 3 files are already added. You can check for it. Demo, I have created some few files or lines of code I have written. Look, so this is how it will going to work, guys. Okay, so this is how we're going to do this. So far you have learned here how we can, with the help, how to use help command, then how to initialize a git folder, how to create an empty git repository by using init command, what is what is untracked file, unstaged file, staged file. So what is, how to use the git status command, and what is add, commit, remove. These commands you have gone through it. Okay, I've shown you, right? So how to use the, how to connect to the remote repository, how to push the code to the remote repository. So so far I have shown these things to you guys. Okay, fine. If you use the git bash, it will automatically it will going to identify your next step. It will give you a suggestion what will be the next step. It will give you the suggestion. Based on it, you can go through it and you can do it. Okay, right, guys. Okay, I'm going to show you in the next video. I'm going to show you or else this video will become lengthy. For that, I'm stopping this video demo. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to push a project, how to create a project, how to push a project to the repository. Okay, how to import that project into your system, how we're going to do the changes, how multiple developers will going to do the changes, and how it will be reflected into them, and how you will going to clone it, how you will going to pull the changes, latest code changes. So those things I'm going to show you in the next video, guys. Okay, guys, thank you.